Hey everyone, welcome to tech.com. My name is Pranavesh. In this course, I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know to get started with the C programming languages. C is an awesome programming languages and it's actually one of the oldest programming languages around. In fact, a lot of programming languages are based of C. So it's a really good idea if you want to get into C, or even if you are trying to get into something like C++ or Java or C Sharp, to learn the basic. And in this course we will going we are going to cover everything you need to know. First of all, I'm going to talk to you guys about installing the text editor and using the C compiler, where we will write some basic code. That that is something special environment. It's called IDE, where we will write our code and we can compile and run the code. I will talk to you guys about what is programming and how to execute a program or write a program, how a program works. We will cover end to end of C programming languages, like from beginner to advanced level. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to install the IDE. So in this course, we will cover the environment setup. We will do nothing but the IDE. Then we will cover the introduction of the programming languages. Then we will cover the generation of the programming languages and its advantage and disadvantage. About C languages and structure of the C programming. Uh, Also, we will cover why we are using void main function in C programming and what all the keywords used in C programming languages. So, first of all, let's begin with the environment setup. So, so in this environment setup, we will use code blocks as a IDE. So, to download it, we need go to Google Chrome. Here, we will search code. So, here we will get this link. Let's click on this link. Here, the left hand side, we will get downloads option. Let's click on this download options. Then we will get here all these options like download the binary release, download the source code. So we will click on download the binary release. Here, based on the operating system of your system, we are going to or it will allow you to download the source files or the exe. So I'm going to use Windows, so I'll click on this min gw setup. So here if we click, it will redirect to the this page, and here it will automatically start with the downloads. If you see, the download is getting started. Let's wait for the completion of the downloads. So the software got downloaded. Now we are going to install it. Let's double click on this code blocks 2503 min gw setup. It will give you the prompt to choose the directory. Let's click on yes. Let's click on next. I agree. Here let's leave as it is and click on next. Here we need to select the appropriate directory where we want to install our required libraries for this exe. Now let's click on install. It will take a little bit of time to install the softwares. We'll continue after completion of this. Okay, so our software got installed. Now we are going to run the code blocks IDE. Here we go. So this is the workplace where we are going to write our programs. Okay. Okay. Let's begin with the introduction. So what is program? So program is an instruction, the set of instructions which are logically and sequentially arranged. Means, so we are telling to do some work to someone. That means we are giving some instruction to that person to complete the works for us. Similar way, we are going to give some set of instruction to the computer to perform a operation or perform a job. So this called the set of instruction called as program. What is the programming languages? The languages which is used to write the program and which is understandable by the computer called programming languages. Okay, so some useful IDE. As I already mentioned, the powerful IDE. So few of the IDE I have listed down. So here you can get the download link. I will also give in the description of the video. So you can get from there and download the IDE. So here we have one Turbo C++, code blocks, and Visual Studio also we can use. So we are going to use in this course code blocks as a IDE. Let's begin with the generation of the programming languages. So based on the features and uh, advantage and disadvantage, we categorize the C programming languages with three generations. So the first generation languages often known as machine languages. Okay, these are the simplest type of computer language. So what is the advantage of this language of the first generation? Programs written in the language are directly understood by the computer because this language use binary code like 0 and 1, and computer always understand 0 and 1. Okay, so this is the advantage of this first generation programming language. What is the disadvantage? So the disadvantage is it's very tough to write a program by using 0 and 1 code. Okay, program written in these languages are hard to understand and debug. The languages are machine dependent, either not portable, meaning programs written for one machine cannot be easily run to another machine. So next generation is second generation. So in second generations, some customization happen on this languages. So what happened? Like we use some symbolic code where uh, it's represent the binary code. Okay, let's for the example, if I explain this, this is the binary code. Suppose it is uh, specifying a as a character. So as soon as we type a, our computer automatically take this binary code as a value. This is not just for the example I have given. Similar way, suppose I'm going to perform A and B addition. Here, so for A determine this binary code, add is the sum of A and B. We are going to perform addition. So the add operation may be uh, coded as this binary code. Similar way, B is coded with this binary code. Now, as soon as we type A add B, it will internally it will convert the uh, languages or can convert the text to the machine or machine understandable code, which is 0 and 1 code. So it will combine this binary code, and the computer will understand about this. Now let's begin with the advantage. So what is the advantage? The easier to understand compared to the machine languages. So Easier to write the program using symbol and instruction. What is the disadvantage? This program or this language is machine dependent, as that not portable, meaning the programming written for one machine cannot easily run on another machine. So next generation came on third generation. So in the third generation, the programming languages were developed that are English text based, making them easier for human to read and write. What is the advantage of this third generation languages? Easier to understand compared to the machine languages. Easier to write the program. It is machine independent, either portable, meaning the program can run on different hardware with a minimal modification. What is the disadvantage? So the disadvantage is for this third generation to run or the compile the program, we will need a special software which is called as translator, such as compiler, to convert the third generation language into equivalent machine code so the computer can execute it. Example of popular C compiler including Turbo C, Turbo C++, Boland C++, and Jortex C++. Okay, so here we go. We will learn how the C language developed. So at the earliest stage of 1960, the first language or first language written, which is ALGOL, algorithm languages. After that, in 1967, the International Committee developed another one language, which is CPL, Combined Programming Languages. On 1969, Martin Reacher, the professor of Cambridge University, developed a language BCPL, which is Basic Combined Programming Languages. After that, Ken Thompson, a scientist of the ATST, Advanced Telephone and Telegraphy Laboratory in USA, developed a language which is called B. On 1972, Dennis Riches, the scientist of ATST Bell Laboratory in USA, he developed the programming C programming languages by combining B and BCPL and the name given as C languages. So from here we got this language for our development. So let's begin with the features of C. As I already mentioned, in the third generation, the languages is English language text based. It is portable as machine independent. It is called as high level language because this language is used by the user at the highest level of the computer system. Translator is that compiler is required to translate the English language text to corresponding machine language code. So let's cover the flowchart of the C programming execution process. So let's understand this flowchart, how a program works. So as soon as we write a program and once we click on the run button or on the we start with the running of the program. So what will happen? First of all, the computer will take the source program which is user written in the screen. Then our compiler will come to the picture and the compiler will translate the source program to the object code. The object code is nothing but the machine code or machine understandable code, which is 0 and 1. Once the source program converted to the 0 and 1 code, machine understandable code, our execution flow will determine is all the syntax are correct or not. If all the syntax are correct, then only it will process for next check. Otherwise, it will again return back to the writing phase of the program. And there again we need to correct the code, and similar way the compiler will convert the code to the object code, and again it will check. Same way, once the syntax is correct, it will again check if the syntax is error, is syntax error, any error is there in the code or not. If yes, again it will return back to edit or modify the code. If no, it will do, our loader will come to the picture. This loader, what it will do, it will link that particular source code to the library. Once it links the uh, source program code to the library, it will start executing the file. So the execute file, once uh, starts, it will give the output. Once output we got, then it will stop the execution. So this is how a program works. Now we will cover some basic details of the programming. So what is the editor? Editor is a system software which converts the handwritten program to its equivalent source program with the help of editing process. Some commonly used editor is WordStar, Edlin, Notepad, etc. So if you see here, we have written handwritten program. The editor will convert to the source program. This is nothing but the IDE where we write the program to execute. What is editing? Editing is a procedure by which the handwritten program can be converted into equivalent source program. It is performed by the editor. What is source program? It is the output of the editor. That is when the handwritten program edited into the source program obtained. What is compiler? Compiler is a system software by which the object code compiler used to use the procedure of compilation to convert it into high level language source code to equivalent machine code. So the compiler basically what will do, it will convert the source program to the equivalent machine dependent code. This is 0 and 1. Some commonly used compiler are Turbo C, Turbo C++, Boolean C++, Jortex C++, etc. So here if you see this diagram shows from the source program, the compiler will take the code and it will convert to the object code. Then our system will understand this object code or the machine understandable code, and it will give us the output. What is compilation? So it is a procedure performed by the compiler by which a high-level language's source code will be converted into equivalent machine-dependent code. What is a linker? It is a system software which is used to link to the library file. What is linking? So linking is again a procedure by which a machine level language program can be linked to the library file by using linkers. What is execution? It is a procedure by which we are able to get the output from the program. It is performed after linking. So here we go. So a C program or a structure of the C program defines here. So these are the sections. If we say these are the sections we need to maintain when we are going to write a program. So the first thing is document section, then header file declaration, then we have symbolic constant definition, then we have the main function definition. Inside the main function definition, we will write our variable declaration, output operation, processing, output operation, input operation, processing, output operation, and then program termination. Let's begin with the document section. So it is a non-processable part or non-executable part of the program. We can add a document with slash star, and this is the we can give some instruction about the code, and again we can close the document section with star and slash. So what it does, it increases the readability and understandability of the program. It is also called the comment section of the program. So it called the comment section of the program, which is determining or telling us or the user to understand the program about. Next is header file declaration. So what is the header file? It is a software package which includes the definition of standard function and standard terms used within the program. It is represented with .h extension. Some commonly used header files are stdio.h, conio.h, string.h, and math.h, and it is. So the stdio.h is the main header file which will help us to execute the or run the program. So std is the standard, I for input, O for output, H for header file. So the full form, if we say standard input output header file. Similar way, the conio.h. The con stand for console, I for input, O for output, H for header file. Header files declaration sections contain the name of the header file to be included within the program during execution time. So here is the syntax how we can write a header file declaration. So we need to write has include angular bracket open close. Inside that we need to write the specific header file with the extension of .h. So what does this conio.h? For running a program generally state that we have screen clear mechanism. To run a program we will write get ch. These are the few useful methods are present inside the conio.h header file. So if we include this conio.h header file, we can access of these methods in our program. Similar way, if we want to perform some mathematical operations like square up some value, square root of some value, uh, if you want to perform some sine of some degree, cos of some degree, so we need to include the math.h header file in our program. So this is how we will write the header files, or we will include the header file. The header file, again, the header file will help us to access the specific or predefined methods to perform the desired operation. Symbolic constant definition. It is the optional part of the program which increase the understandability and readability of the program. So same way, uh, after inclusion of the header file, we can also define a constant value. This will give us the, it's not required, but we can give, this will give us the better understanding of the code. So like this we can define. So if you see the syntax of this has a define symbol name and the constant value. So here if I go, for example, I equal to 10, this is how we can maybe declare one or initialize one value to a variable. Similar way, if we want to access the global constant in multiple places, we can define the constant with the value with the help of hash defined keyword, and later on wherever needed we can assign this symbolic name to the specific variable to access the value. So by using this code or this line, it will also give us the same result as this. So let's begin with the main function definition. This is the most important part of the program. So it is a standard library function which starts the program execution. So in a program, if we do not write the main methods, that the program will not execute at all. So we need to keep the main function, which is the entry point of the execution flow to the program. So if we write the main function, then our program will start executing from this particular uh, main function. It registered with the header file studio.h. So as I already mentioned, the studio.h contains some predefined functions which is useful and helpful to write the program. In C programming language, main function can be written in the following ways. So if you see, if we write simply main function, it will not accept any input, but by default it will return the integer value as an output. So if we go void main, so it will not accept any input, also it will not return any output. Same way, if we write int main, it will not accept any input, but it will return the integer output. Same way, if we write int main void, it will also not return and it will not accept any input parameter, but it will give us the output as integer value. So default input operator or input variable is void type for a main method. We can also write void main of void. So this also give us the same result as void main. So it will also not accept any input and it will not return any output. So here are some important questions we have. So why we are using void main in a programming? What is the answer? So as I already explained in the above slide, the C programming languages returns the C programming main function by default returns a integer type value, meaning it will return an integer value, but it will not accept any input parameter. So this integer value is unnecessary. It's not required to access, or we don't need this value. To avoid this value, which we are going to use void keyword within the main function. Okay, so let's uh, get some idea about the C keywords. In C programming languages, some specific keywords we are using, which are predefined or included in our header files. So these are the keywords. If we see auto, static, sort, break, extern, if, else, do, for, while, register, struct, union, type, int, long, double, float, signed, unsigned, void, enum, switch, case, default, continue, go to, volatile, elif, define, include, care, const, for, near, return, etc. So these are some commonly used C keywords which will help us to write a program. Okay, so in the next session we are going to cover the next topic. So like data type, some specific uh, program examples and all. So thank you all for watching this video. If you have any questions or any doubts, please write in the comment box. We will clarify those questions or doubt in our next session. If you are new in this channel, please subscribe this channel. Thank you.